So just a couple of days ago, we heard this story, and I remember I was asking David Hertel about this yesterday because it seems like such potential good news. You know, we have an administration now municipally who has said that Soraya Martinez-Ferrat is saying homelessness, number one item on her agenda. And then, boom, a couple of days later, all of a sudden, or a week later, perhaps, you have three major developers in the city come out and say, you know what? They are going to put together a plan to build 2,500 social housing units, which is roughly half the number of people we are told are homeless in the city. So that's a giant step in the right direction. And on top of that, the plan here is to get it done at no cost to the city. Now they're saying, well, you know, the city's going to give us the land and we're going to go ahead and put this stuff up. So it sounds almost too good to be true. So I want to follow up on this because maybe it is. Jean-Philippe Meloche is a professor of urbanism at the University of Montreal, and he is on the line. Mr. Meloche, thanks for your time this afternoon. I don't know, call me a skeptic. Is this too good to be true? Because it sounds like exactly what we need.
Yeah, it sounds exactly what we need, but we think that there's lots of things that we need to tie up till we get the work done. But hopefully, if we realize that work the way it is, it will be very good.
Well, okay, what in this plan, because up until now, part of the argument has always been, you know what, developers are in business to make money, and it's understandable that they would want to turn a profit on a project, right? It's only fair. In this case, these three, and these are major developers, right, in Montreal coming together to say, we're all prepared to work together. So what's the concern here?
Well, the concern here is that these promoters, they sometimes will answer to public tenders or call for tenders to build type of social housing, and then one of them just realized that it could probably do better than what was on the plan. So governments or nonprofit organization will quote for the types of building they want, and then they will call for tenders. And then when the promoter looked at the plan, he said, that will be too expensive. I can build something cheaper than that. So I think that's where the initiative starts. They have the capability to build social housing for cheaper than what is in the plan of the public tenders.
But in this particular case, I mean, this is, you know, let's take this away from the public tender sort of situation, right? This was their initiative, by the way. It's not the city saying, hey, we think this would be great if you want to do it. They're the ones who came forward and said, we're prepared, we're committed to getting this done, 2,500 social housing units. And then when it's done, right, it would be owned and managed by Quebec Social Housing Agency, which seems like another positive step.
Yes, usually it's Quebec Social Housing Agency that calls for tender before they ask, and that's where we just inverse the process here. They took the initiative. Of course, they're big players, and they can manage to build 2,500 housing units in Montreal. So that makes them a power to negotiate with the government and to influence government in its social policies here. And I think it's a good thing. But what I wonder is why can we not do it the other way? Usually government are the ones that are supposed to plan for the needs we have for future and for homelessness. They have the responsibility to care for that. And I'm just wondering, why are we inversing the process here? Yeah. But it's a very good thing that if we can do better this way, at least we will learn something. We will learn that the government is not very efficient to plan, and that promoters can build cheaper if we give them some freedom to plan for what they want to build.
Which would be, I think, a pretty good step, would it not?
Yes, it is. I wish that in the future we can fix it and maybe have a government that can plan better the needs for social housing on the territory, and that we have and we will have some private promoters that will be able to build cheaper, even if it's called by the government, because we don't necessarily want private organization to organize social services on the territory. At least we want it to be we wish that the government that has the responsibility for that will act for that in the first place. But the situation right now is critical, and I think that everybody wants to do something, and maybe it will just shake up the government a little bit to have some private promoters that go forward and propose something that maybe is not in the plan of the government, but it's probably more efficient.
Well, I mentioned off the top, we have a municipal government now with a new mayor that's made this priority number one, according to everything Soraya Martinez-Ferreira has said. So I take that as a positive step. And now you have developers. I think I was going to ask you, when was the last time you heard a developer, and I'm reading a quote, "We don't want to take a profit on this"? When's the last time you heard that?
Well, they don't take profit, but they build it. So I'm not saying they make money out of it, but they make business with it. What they usually do when they answer tenders, they make money out of it. I think it's both. They want business and they want to give something to the city. So their business is to build housing units and housing units. We miss housing units right now, and that's why we have homelessness, or at least that's why homelessness is growing in the past years. So I think they have the power to contribute something positive. So they want to share this with the population. So I think they really have a social behavior here, but it's also their business, so they know how to do it, and they want to work. So I think for them it's a win-win situation. They give something and they take something out of it.
Yeah, and it's a win for everyone in the end if it happens. So it's 2,500 people who don't have a place to live that will have a place to live. So maybe I'm just a little too excited or enthused about this idea, but I haven't seen an idea like this in a while. And also one of the quotes here that really caught my eye, Vincent Chiera, who's the head of Mock Group, one of the three groups involved in this. This is a direct quote. He says, "We can put $1 billion roof on a stadium," which, by the way, we are doing. He then says, "We can find $12 or $15 million to fix what I consider to be a more serious social problem we have been living with in the last 15 years, talking about the homeless problem. So look, I'm all in on this. There's going to be, I guess, a few different levels of government having to be involved, not just municipal, provincial, I guess, as well. But the other thing in this story is, it's been said they've already gone and talked to the banks. So, I mean, it's gone beyond just a wild idea. There's already a first step in the book here.
Yes, there's a first step. I think that the private sector is ready. The problem is that our government's ready for that project, and do they have other plans? I think that the city of Montreal just said that they were interested in the project, and I think they will probably try to find the land kind of subsidy. So they need that type of subsidy to make it work.
Right.
And they need the provincial government with their programs to step in as well, because they need subsidies from the provincial government for the formal housing programs. And so they need to agree with these level of governments to make it a concrete project. But I think that they have an influence, and at least they have influence the city of Montreal right now, and probably are waiting for the government of Quebec to see if they step in.
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed. I think we can all agree if it happens, it's a wonderful idea and a great project. Monsieur Meloche, thanks so much for your time.
My pleasure.
Jean-Philippe Meloche over at the University of Montreal. Look, we'll see how this goes. He's right. There, a lot of other people sort of have to get involved, but as a good first step, I think this is amazing.
Canadian women are looking for more out of themselves, their businesses, their elected leaders, and the world around them.
And that's why we're thrilled to introduce the Honest Talk podcast.
I'm Jennifer Stewart.
And I'm Catherine Clark. And in this podcast, we interview Canada's most inspiring women.
Entrepreneurs, artists, athletes, politicians, and newsmakers, all at different stages of their journey.
So if you're looking to connect, then we hope you'll join us.
Listen to the Honest Talk podcast on iHeartRadio or wherever you listen to your podcasts.